Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of The Views. I am your host, Sanelisiwe Zungu, and today our topic is Sociologist view on gender, paying more attention to functionalist and conflict theorist view on gender. The purpose of our discussion today is to see how society plays a role in shaping our views on gender. All right, so today I have a very special guest from Edgewood campus. Teachers, hello. Hi. Thank you so much for joining me today. So our first topic is sociologist's view on gender. Now, Tula and Pumzile, please share those views, ladies.
The sociologist's view on gender is based on one's identity, on your behavior and how you interact with other people. It is a culturally produced identity and behavior. So in other words, as a woman, there's a particular behavior that you are taught, and also as a man. So as I was growing up, as a woman, I was taught that I'm supposed to conduct myself in a particular way. There's a particular way in which I'm supposed to sit, and also that I had to be home before 6 o'clock, which is a different message that was passed on to my brothers. They were allowed to be out until late, and they used more strong language, which is why when I was growing up, I had only female friends, because all of us, the society, contributed to our identity in the same way, right? So we were taught to speak in a particular way, so that is why we were able to engage in the same conversation, and that same applies for boys. And my partner will elaborate more on what I've just said. Thank you.
Just to paraphrase on what Ms. Ngoma has said, sociology view on gender examines how society shapes our minds and our thinking into how men and women should act. For example, in a schooling context, you wouldn't find a boy. It's not common that you find a boy sweeping a class or mopping the floor. They are given tasks that require more strength and more power, like lifting desks and everything. So that's why in society, gays and lesbians have a hard time fitting in, because already we are put in a mindset that a man is supposed to do this and a woman is supposed to do this. So as a girl coming in, and I'm attracted to other girls, so I'd want to do things that differ from what society believes we should do. So that's where I think that we conflict and it becomes dysfunctional.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you so much for touching on that topic, the gays and the lesbians, because that actually brings us to our next topic, which is the functionist way of viewing gender. When we, in that manner, gay people and lesbians, when a girl is attracted to other girls and a man is attracted to other men, they are going against the status quo, and they are contradicting the society norms. So functionalists see that as being dysfunctional. But Lindy and Charity will further discuss on the
biology. The society is viewed as a body, and the elements of the society are viewed as the organs in the body that needs to function properly in order for the whole body to function properly. Think of a family as an arm. If an arm stops working, that means that the whole body will not function properly. Similarly, if the one part of the society stop working, this means that the whole society will not function properly. When looking at functionalism in gender, we're looking at how gender contributes to the stability and order of the society. Like, for example, in our society, there are different types of roles that are assigned to different gender. Like, for instance, men are expected to be the providers and engage in hard labor, while women are expected to take care of the domestic spheres of the house. So if one role fails to play a part, it means that the whole family will be dysfunctional, and the society will have to make changes in order to bring stability.
That actually reminds me of a scenario. It's not even a scenario, it's a real life situation, where my sister and her husband, they're both working, and the husband felt that because they both work, nobody's going to be able to take care of the kids. So the other family members saw their family as being dysfunctional, since the woman was not doing the job that is supposed to be done by the woman. All right, so Tina, can you please give us the critiques of the functionalist view on gender?
Okay, well, personally, I'd like to disagree with how the functionalist sees things. They don't exercise equal rights when it comes to males and females. I say this because the functionalist views they view the men having to be the ones that go out to work, provide, bring in the income, and then the woman is supposed to be the domesticated one and takes care of the children and stuff. But it's very possible for us women to go out to work with the husband and still come back home and do the cleaning, the cooking, and take care of the children. Us women are very, very we can multitask. We can do a lot of things all at once. So I don't agree with the fact that the woman is supposed to stay at home while the man goes out to work. At home with my sister and her husband, they both work, and when they both come back from work, they work an 8-hour shift. When they both come back from work, the husband takes care of the son while my sister cooks and cleans, and the household is very stable. It's not dysfunctional at all. So yeah.
Yeah, that's very right. Houses are very much able to function where both parents can work and the children are very much taken care of if a scenario is like that. All right, so moving on to conflict theorists' way of viewing gender, Nonhlanhla and Esther. Please explain.
That one's status is based on their non-material and their material wealth. So basically, it places an emphasis on how powerful groups exploit those that are under them. So in relation to gender, the conflict theorists say that it is the action whereby those that are in power, which would be the men, oppress those that are under them, which would be the women. So it encourages the assumption that men are the independent providers and the women are the ones that are dependent on them. And this can be found mostly in the home dynamics, which will be discussed further by Esther.
Okay, so as Nonhlanhla has said about the conflict theory, basically putting men on a higher stature compared to women. Now, when you look at the Marxist part or view, should I say, he emphasizes on a group of people, individuals, where they have perhaps material or property. So, like, it's kind of unfair if you think about it, because men who have more property or material, who are more wealthy, they have a bigger influence on society and how society sees things, or how people depict society. This is how society should be, and it's all because of those people who are wealthy. So when you look into the homes of these wealthy men, I'll put it as men rather than just society in general, you'll find that the husband is the one going to work, and he is the one who's bringing the bread and butter to the family, and it's ideal for him to have a wife who stays at home, because she can run the household, look after the kids, while he is outside making the money for them to live. So in the sense of it's more ideal if you are coming from the upper class in society, because you'll be able to afford the luxury of having one of you, or in this case having the wife as a housewife, because there will be money to sustain the household compared to a lower class or perhaps a middle class family who won't be able to do that, and they'll have to have two partners or two parents actually working.
No, I get you. These theories sound very, very familiar if I'm listening to both of them, but yeah, it's very, very true. There's a discussion that I'd like to get to, but before we get to that, can Mr. Lunga discuss with us the critiques of the conflict theorist view on gender?
The conflict theorists as a whole, the one area which they, I won't say lack, but they don't pay attention to, as other social groups. They pay a huge emphasis on the higher group, which is the power holders. For example, in a family situation, I heard my two colleagues constantly mentioning men and their role in society and their independence. But however, when you look at women, they also have influence, but the theory itself doesn't pay much attention to them as to how they react to this power. Into the economic side of it, they focus more on the capitalists who own and control companies. Meanwhile, on the other hand, you've got a working class who are constantly rebelling against that, but the theory doesn't show much of the action into towards like how the power struggle goes about in society. And for a theory that looks at society as a whole, it pays too much attention to one group.
No, I get you. I get you very much. But it's easier to pay attention to a group when they are the one dominating
and
everything,
they
yes,
have
and
the
they have
influence.
more power and everything. So it's easier to pay attention to them. But going back to the discussion that I got from your point, you said that it is ideal. The conflict theorist believes that it is ideal for the woman to be in the household taking care of the kids and everything that has to do with the household, and the man to be working and taking care of the household, like financially, instead of doing all the domestic things that are supposed to be done in the house. So maybe one of you guys could just tell me, which do you prefer? Which one do you think should be the way? Which way should be done? Should it be men dominating, or should it be women dominating, or should we just all be the same? Anybody?
Okay, well, when I think about my family, my mom was housewife and my father worked. So maybe we were well off, should I say? So more fortunate to have my father going to work and then my mom taking care of us, doing our homeworks with us, cleaning, cooking for us, and making sure that everything was just on time in regards to our lives. So I feel if my mom was was at work as well, then we wouldn't have that time with her and that actual full-on attention that we should have as children. If it's better to rather look after your own kids than having someone outside, I feel. And I mean, if you can afford that lifestyle, then I think that would be a better lifestyle, especially when you're running a house or when you have to actually grow a family or look after a family. It is ideal compared to other classes of society where they have to both be working, and then you've got the kids going to aftercares and not anyone being home when they come home to do homework. So I feel it's ideal.
Okay, no, I get you. Okay, sticking very much to the parts where both parents are working, I'd like to just ask another question. That if both parents are working now, it's a male and a female, both working. You as a female, would you mind having a man earn more than you, or no? I mean, would you mind having a man earn less than you and you are earning more than the man? And for you as the man, would you mind having a woman that's gonna earn earn more than you? Yeah. So you as a man, would you mind having a woman that's gonna earn more than you? And you guys as women, would you mind having a man that's gonna earn less than you? Just one, maybe three of you guys should give me your opinion on that. Then we can have the show.
Okay, firstly, before I give you a direct answer,
Yeah.
I think when it comes to like household economics, it should be the person who's more responsible, who has greater control of the money.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be a matter of gender or what. And to a more personal approach, I personally feel I should earn more than my wife.
No reason. Okay, no, moving on. It's fine. No reason. He personally feels that he should earn more. Yes.
Personally, with me, I'm a very independent woman. So whether it's me earning more or it's my man earning more, it's not much of a problem. But because I'm so independent, I feel it's more. It would make more sense if I'm earning more than him and he's earning less than me. So yeah.
All right. No, I get you. Anybody else would like to share another opinion? Yes. Pumzile.
I like, me personally, I like my men to get paid more than I do. Firstly, as I've mentioned before, mentioned before on the sociologist view on gender, on how our identities are shaped by the society, what the ideas that are instilled in us as we are growing up. All right, as we are growing up, they really contribute to how our households are. So the men, or as they are growing up, they already have that dominating nature as they're growing up. So if, for example, if I'm getting paid more, right? If I'm getting paid more and he's getting paid less, already there's going to be problems, because firstly, he's gonna want something that's gonna show that he's the man of the house. So maybe, for example, and it happens in most households, that you find that the men, in order for them to show that they are men, they'll want to be more aggressive because there's nothing else that they can do for you. And secondly, I like my men to take care of me, not because I understand that you say you're a very you're a very independent woman. I'm not saying I want to sit at home and do nothing. No, I want to do something with my life. but I want my men to take care of me, be able to take me on a holiday or something like that. And lastly, we as women, when we're very angry, maybe our men, they've done something wrong to us, and basically, let's say for instance, I buy most of the things in the house, I take care of you and everything else, we usually want to make that hurt, want to make that scene that I bought you those pants, like, why are you treating me like this? That's my car, you can't go at this time and come back at this time. So yeah, personally, my men must earn more.
No, I get you very much. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing your views on that, and thank you so much for joining me today. But before we end the show, I heard you guys.
I have a question.
Oh yes, darling.
It's directed to her. Is that would she teach her daughter independence?
Oh, interesting.
Definitely, I'll teach my daughter independence. As I mentioned again, it's not that I don't want to be independent. I'm going to teach her to go to school so that if it happens that they break up with the guy, she's still able to take care of herself. But not that she must just sit at home and do nothing.
Yeah, I get that. Everybody's answered. I guess so. Thank you very much, guys. But before we end the show, I heard that you guys bought a poster that is relating to the whole discussion that we are discussing today. Can one of you guys, I don't know if it's Notula. Oh, Notula, can you explain the poster and just get everybody understanding what's happening there?
Over here we have two different sociologists, as the functionalist and the conflict theorist. They are all under the same umbrella as the sociologist view on gender. So just to explain the significance of the tree is that here we have a bark and branches that are separated into two. So the sociology view on gender has given birth to the functionalist and the conflict theorist. There over here on this big bark here we have written words that were mentioned while we were having our discussions, like gender roles, femininity, sexual division, masculinity, and so on. So going to this functionalist first, we had a lady there speaking of if you want a society to be functional, you need to, different parts have to work together in order to make a stable system. So over here we have a man who is doing a woman's job, like society says, and there is a girl, a female, who is doing what is supposed to be a man's job, going out, doing work and bringing in the money, which is dysfunctional because society doesn't agree with what these two cartoons are doing. Moving on to the conflict theorist rather, is we having a man going to work and then a woman who's doing what is society saying we must do. Like, the woman is saying that the woman is staying at home, like as you can see the picture shows that she's doing her dishes and the man is there doing doing his thing. So basically this entire tree is a representation of what we as a group are talking about.
All right, so this brings us to the end of our show. Notula, thank you so much for explaining the poster. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, same place, same time. And for me, Sanesi Wezungu, I'm out.